Spotting killer diseases early. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? Life saved from regular tests and scans. But it's not that simple. The latest screening rollout announced by NHS England today comes in the form of lung health checks. These checks started out in trucks in supermarket car parks in Manchester, where the incidence of lung cancer is around double the national average.
Move your arms away from your chest.
NHS England says the Manchester project scanned 2,541 patients and found 61 with lung cancer, picking them up at an earlier stage. Now the trucks will visit 10 new areas at a cost of £70 million over 4 years, targeting people at high risk of lung cancer. They say it will save hundreds of lives across the country, but not everyone agrees. Newsnight has seen a letter from senior doctors and public health officials to Simon Stevens, the chief executive of NHS England. It raises substantial objections to lung health checks. They say proponents underplay the harms and overplay the benefits. They point to Canadian data which attempt to quantify this. For every 1,000 people scanned annually for 3 years, 391 will show apparent indications of lung cancer. However, only 40 of those positives are genuine. Of those 40, 7 would not have died of the disease. 30 would have died anyway, and just 3 lives are saved. Meanwhile, among the false positives, 4 will suffer major complications as a result of treatment, and 1 of those 4 will die.
Well, that was Deborah Cohen. Joining us now, Carl Heneghan, the Professor of Evidence-Based Medicine at Oxford University, who's with me here, and Dr. David Baldwin, who advised the NHS England on the lung cancer screening programme. Can we just start with you, David Baldwin, and Deborah's remarks there, her observations on the difficulty that this offers with false positives, that it subjects people to risky treatment that they may not need to be taking at all?
Yeah, so this is always a concern with any screening programme, and it's something that we've been looking at the evidence for over many years now, since the publication of the big American trial which showed a 20% reduction in lung cancer mortality with just 3 annual screens with CT. And since then we've realised that trial was done in a suboptimal way. We've worked out ways in which you can reduce the actions that you have to take for any false positive tests, reducing the impact it has on individual patients, and maximising the benefits over the harms. We are always concerned about the harms, and one of the things that has been a concern is that CT screening needs to be done well and properly, and for that reason NHS England have produced with a group of people who represent the UK's CT screening experts, a protocol which tells people exactly how to do this, and that protocol has to be followed by all of the lung health check centres.
Let me just go to Carl Heneghan. And can this be done well and properly under this scheme with the trucks and supermarket car parks?
Well, it sounds like simply just put a truck out there and you get all these benefits. When you look at the American trial, the first thing to realise is you need world-class care to get them benefits. That was done in hospital centres in the US that were tied to universities. We've got huge variation in care right now in the UK, where we need better diagnostics, better provision of treatment, you need multidisciplinary teams, and that infrastructure in place to deliver this.
And you don't think we have it here?
Not that we don't even have it, because we've got a national screening committee who should be ruling on this, and that's what we've wrote and said, why are they not overseeing it? This concept of health checks, we just don't understand. If this is a screening, it should be going to the national screening committee, who should make sure all of this is in place, and the quality insurance of what we've just seen is a load of problems with that in breast cancer screening, and none of that's in place.
Dr. Baldwin, did you come under political pressure for this innovation? Because it does sound as if you have a national screening committee and you've done something that completely undermines its work.
Well, actually, we do work very closely with the UK National Screening Committee and in constant conversation with the independent chair, Professor Bob Steele. And in fact, the Director of Programmes sits on our committee, our Expert Advisory Committee on CT screening, which was the committee that produced the standardised protocol that I just mentioned. And that individual and her colleagues contributed to that protocol to ensure that the quality control and the governance structures were clearly specified. And one other thing that is probably a bit hot off the press and not in wide circulation yet, but the independent chair of the UK National Screening Committee just 2 weeks ago said on record that he felt that this was a highly effective intervention, targeted CT screening for those people at risk,
Carl,
and it should be rolled out as a national programme.
Let me just bring in...
The issue was how that should be done.
Carl, we know there are problems with screening, and that will be in sort of every circumstance, but isn't this, the intention of this is absolutely right, isn't it? You go to high-risk areas, you target people directly, you come to them. That's got to be the right start.
Well, look, I'm originally from North Manchester, where the highest burden of disease is in the country, where this is set. My father had lung cancer. I would love to be in a position to say you are going to reduce lung cancer mortality. But if you're going to do it well, what is just admitted is we're bypassing usual committee structures and we're doing it on a whim. And we're just doing this window dressing where we're throwing out 70 million. This is going to cost billions to do well, and we have to have a proper debate and develop the evidence correctly to do this.
Gents, thank you both very much indeed. Thank you.